Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that's been getting a lot of attention lately in the world of relationships and psychology, love bombing. Now, you might be thinking, love bombing? That sounds kind of nice, actually. But hold on to that thought, because we're about to unpack why it's not as harmless as it might seem. Love bombing is a manipulative tactic where someone overwhelms their partner with excessive affection, attention, and adoration, especially early in a relationship. It's often used by narcissists and emotional abusers to gain control over their partners. But here's the thing, sometimes, people engage in love bombing behaviors without even realizing it. They might have the best intentions, but their actions can still have negative consequences. In this video, we're going to explore 7 signs that you might be love bombing your partner without even knowing it. By the end, you'll have a better understanding of what love bombing looks like, why it's problematic, and how to build healthier relationships. So, grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's dive in. Hashtag sign number 1, you're moving way too fast. The first sign that you might be love bombing without realizing it is if you're moving way too fast in the relationship. Now, I know what you're thinking, but when you know, right? Well, not exactly. When we're excited about a new relationship, it's natural to want to spend a lot of time with that person and to feel a strong connection. But love bombing takes this to an extreme. If you find yourself doing any of the following, you might be moving too fast. 1. Talking about a long-term future together within the first few dates. 2. Pushing for commitment before you've really gotten to know each other. 3. Introducing your new partner to family and friends right away. 4. Making major life decisions based on the relationship, like moving in together, very early on. Here's why this is problematic: healthy relationships need time to develop. When you move too quickly, you're not giving yourself or your partner the chance to see each other clearly. You're operating on a high of infatuation and excitement, which can cloud your judgment. Moreover, moving too fast can put a lot of pressure on the relationship. Your partner might feel overwhelmed or cornered, even if they're not expressing it. They might go along with the fast pace because they're caught up in the excitement too, or because they don't want to disappoint you. So, what's the alternative? Take a deep breath and slow down. Enjoy getting to know each other gradually. Build a solid foundation based on genuine understanding and compatibility, not just intense emotions. Remember, a strong, lasting relationship is a marathon, not a sprint. Hashtag sign number 2, you're constantly showering them with gifts and grand gestures. The second sign of love bombing is if you're constantly showering your partner with gifts and grand gestures. Now, don't get me wrong, gifts and romantic gestures can be wonderful expressions of love and appreciation in a relationship. But when it comes to love bombing, it's all about the excess. Here are some signs that your gift-giving might have crossed into love bombing territory. 1. You're giving expensive or extravagant gifts very early in the relationship. 2. You feel compelled to give gifts or plan grand gestures all the time, not just on special occasions. 3. You use gifts as a way to apologize after arguments or to smooth over conflicts. 4. You feel anxious or insecure if you're not constantly doing something special for your partner. So why is this a problem? Well, for starters, it can create an imbalance in the relationship. Your partner might feel pressure to reciprocate or might feel guilty if they can't match your level of gift-giving. This can lead to resentment or discomfort. Moreover, constant grand gestures can be a way of avoiding real intimacy. Instead of having meaningful conversations or working through conflicts, you might be using gifts as a shortcut to connection or as a band-aid for problems. There's also the risk of setting unrealistic expectations. If you start a relationship with over-the-top gestures, it can be hard to maintain that level of intensity over time. Your partner might become accustomed to this treatment and feel neglected when things naturally settle into a more sustainable rhythm. So, what's a healthier approach? Focus on thoughtful, meaningful gestures rather than extravagant ones. Show your affection through your words, your actions, and your presence. Remember that the most valuable gift you can give in a relationship is your authentic self and your genuine attention. Sign number 3, you're neglecting other aspects of your life. The third sign that you might be engaging in love bombing behavior is if you're neglecting other aspects of your life for the sake of the relationship. This is a tricky one because when we're in the throes of a new romance, it's natural to want to spend a lot of time with our partner. However, love bombing takes this to an unhealthy extreme. Here are some signs that you might be neglecting your life outside the relationship. 1. You're canceling plans with friends or family to spend more time with your partner. 2. You've stopped pursuing hobbies or interests that you used to enjoy. 3. Your work or studies are suffering because you're so focused on the relationship. 4. You're ignoring your own needs or self-care routines to cater to your partner. This kind of behavior is problematic for several reasons. First, it's not sustainable. No matter how much you love someone, you can't make them your entire world without eventually feeling burned out or resentful. Second, it's not healthy for you or for the relationship. When you neglect other aspects of your life, you're losing parts of yourself that make you who you are. This can lead to a loss of identity and self-esteem. Plus, ironically, it can make you less interesting and attractive to your partner in the long run. Third, it puts an enormous amount of pressure on the relationship. If your partner becomes your sole source of social interaction, emotional support, and fulfillment, that's a heavy burden for them to bear. It can lead to codependency and an unhealthy dynamic where you're overly reliant on your partner for your happiness and well-being. So, what's a healthier approach? Strive for balance. It's great to prioritize your relationship, but not at the expense of everything else in your life. Maintain your friendships, pursue your interests, focus on your personal growth, and take care of your physical and mental health. A truly loving partner will support you in having a full, well-rounded life outside of the relationship. Remember, the goal is to have your partner complement your life, not completely overtake it. When you bring your whole, authentic self to a relationship, including your interests, friendships, and goals, you're able to form a deeper, more genuine connection. Sign number 4, you're overloading them with compliments and declarations of love. The fourth sign of love bombing is if you're constantly overloading your partner with compliments and declarations of love. Now, don't get me wrong, expressing affection and appreciation is a beautiful part of any relationship. But when it comes to love bombing, it's all about the intensity and the timing. Here are some signs that your expressions of love might have crossed into love bombing territory. 1. You're using very intense language, "You're my soulmate, I've never felt this way about anyone," very early in the relationship. 2. You're constantly telling your partner how perfect they are, putting them on a pedestal. 3. You feel the need to verbalize your love multiple times a day. 4. You're making grand declarations about your future together before you've really gotten to know each other. So why is this problematic? Well, for starters, it can be overwhelming for your partner. While everyone likes to feel appreciated, an onslaught of intense compliments and declarations can actually make someone feel uncomfortable or pressured. Moreover, when you idealize your partner this way, you're not seeing them for who they really are. You're projecting your fantasies and desires onto them, which can lead to disappointment later when reality doesn't match up to your idealized version. There's also the risk of creating an emotional dependency. If you're constantly seeking validation through your partner's reaction to your declarations of love, you're putting your emotional well-being in their hands. This can lead to anxiety and insecurity in the relationship. Lastly, excessive compliments and declarations of love can sometimes be a manipulation tactic, even if you're not consciously aware of it. It can be a way of making your partner feel obligated to reciprocate or to stay in the relationship. So, what's a healthier approach? Focus on genuine, specific compliments rather than constant, over-the-top declarations. Instead of saying, "You're perfect," 20 times a day, try noticing and appreciating specific things your partner does or specific qualities they have. Express your feelings in a way that's proportionate to the stage of your relationship. It's okay to be excited and to share that excitement, but try to keep it grounded in reality. Let your love grow and deepen naturally over time, rather than trying to force an intense connection right from the start. Remember, actions often speak louder than words. Show your love through your behavior, your thoughtfulness, and your consistency. A steady, reliable affection is often more meaningful than grand declarations. Sign number 5, you're trying to save or fix them. The fifth sign that you might be engaging in love bombing behavior is if you're constantly trying to save or fix your partner. This is a tricky one because it often comes from a place of genuine care and concern. However, when taken to extremes, it can become a form of love bombing. Here are some signs that you might be falling into this pattern. 1. You see your partner as a project that needs your help to improve. 2. You're always offering advice or solutions, even when they haven't asked for it. 3. You feel responsible for your partner's happiness or success. 4. You believe that your love can heal all their past traumas or current problems. This behavior is problematic for several reasons. First, it creates an unequal dynamic in the relationship. By casting yourself as the savior and your partner as someone who needs saving, you're setting up a parent-child dynamic rather than a partnership of equals. Second, it can be disempowering for your partner. When you're always trying to fix things for them, you're implicitly sending the message that they're not capable of handling their own life. This can erode their self-esteem and independence over time. Third, it puts an enormous amount of pressure on you. Taking responsibility for another person's well-being or life direction is a heavy burden to bear. It can lead to burnout, resentment, or disappointment when your efforts don't yield the results you hoped for. Lastly, this behavior often stems from a need to feel needed or to control the relationship. It can be a way of making yourself indispensable to your partner, which isn't healthy for either of you. So, what's a healthier approach? Start by recognizing that your partner is a whole, complete person with their own journey and their own capacity to grow and change. Your role is to support them, not to fix them. Practice active listening without always jumping to offer solutions. Sometimes, people just need to be heard and understood. Ask your partner what kind of support they need, rather than assuming you know what's best for them. Focus on your own growth and development, too. A healthy relationship involves two individuals growing alongside each other, not one person trying to mold the other into their ideal. Remember, true love is about accepting your partner as they are, not as who you think they could or should be. It's okay to encourage and support your partner's growth, but it should come from a place of respect for their autonomy, not a desire to change them. Sign number 6, you're disregarding their boundaries. The sixth sign of love bombing is if you're consistently disregarding your partner's boundaries. This can be a subtle form of love bombing because it often masquerades as care or enthusiasm. However, respecting boundaries is crucial for a healthy, balanced relationship. Here are some signs that you might be overstepping boundaries. 1. You show up uninvited or unannounced, thinking they'll be pleasantly surprised. 2. You're constantly calling or texting, expecting immediate responses. 3. You're pushing for physical intimacy faster than they seem comfortable with. 4. You're making decisions for them or inserting yourself into areas of their life where you haven't been invited. This behavior is problematic for several reasons. First and foremost, it shows a lack of respect for your partner's autonomy and personal space. Everyone, even in a committed relationship, needs some degree of independence and privacy. Secondly, it can be overwhelming and suffocating for your partner. What you might see as devotion, they might experience as pressure or intrusion. This can lead to them feeling trapped or resentful, even if they care about you. Thirdly, by disregarding boundaries, you're setting a precedent for an unhealthy relationship dynamic. You're essentially communicating that your desires or need for connection trump their comfort or preferences. Lastly, this behavior often stems from insecurity or a need for control. You might be pushing boundaries because you're afraid of losing your partner or because you're trying to cement your place in their life. However, true security in a relationship comes from mutual trust and respect, not from eliminating all boundaries. So, what's a healthier approach? Start by having open conversations about boundaries. Ask your partner what they're comfortable with in terms of communication, time together, physical intimacy, and involvement in each other's lives. And equally important, share your own boundaries too. Practice respecting the boundaries that are set. If your partner says they need some alone time, give it to them without guilt-tripping or constantly checking in. If they're not ready for a certain level of intimacy, respect that without pressuring them. Remember, healthy love creates space for individuality. It's about two whole people choosing to share their lives, not about two people merging into one entity. By respecting boundaries, you're showing that you value your partner as an individual, not just as an extension of yourself or the relationship. Sign number 7, you're reacting disproportionately to normal relationship fluctuations. The seventh and final sign that you might be engaging in love-bombing behavior is if you're reacting disproportionately to normal relationship fluctuations. Every relationship has its ups and downs, its moments of closeness and distance. But if you find yourself having extreme reactions to these natural ebbs and flows, it could be a sign of love-bombing tendencies. Here are some signs that you might be overreacting. 1. You feel devastated or panicked when your partner needs some alone time. 2. You interpret any decrease in communication or affection as a sign that the relationship is in trouble. 3. You become extremely anxious or upset if your partner doesn't respond to a message right away. 4. You feel the need to make up for normal periods of decreased intensity with grand gestures or renewed declarations of love. This behavior is problematic for several reasons. First, it puts an enormous amount of pressure on the relationship. When every small change or moment of distance is treated like a crisis, it creates a constant state of tension and drama. Secondly, it can be exhausting for both you and your partner. Relationships shouldn't be a constant emotional roller coaster. If you're always at a fever pitch of emotion, you're likely to burn out. Thirdly, these extreme reactions often stem from insecurity or a fear of abandonment. While these are valid feelings to have, acting on them in this way can actually push your partner away rather than bring them closer. Lastly, by reacting so strongly to normal fluctuations, you're not allowing the relationship to develop its own natural rhythm. Healthy relationships have periods of intensity and periods of calm, times of growth and times of stability. By trying to maintain a constant high, you're not allowing for this natural ebb and flow. So, what's a healthier approach? Start by working on your own emotional regulation. Recognize that not every change in the relationship is a threat. Practice self-soothing techniques when you feel anxious or insecure. Communicate openly with your partner about your feelings, but try to do so in a calm, non-accusatory way. Instead of reacting dramatically, express your needs clearly and listen to their perspective as well. Remember that a healthy relationship is resilient. It can withstand normal fluctuations in mood, communication, and closeness. In fact, these fluctuations often allow for growth and deeper understanding between partners. Try to cultivate a sense of security that comes from within, rather than constantly seeking reassurance from your partner. This might involve working on your self-esteem, pursuing your own interests, or even seeking therapy if you find these patterns difficult to break on your own. Conclusion. And there you have it, folks, 7 signs that you might be love-bombing without realizing it. Let's do a quick recap. 1. You're moving way too fast in the relationship. 2. You're constantly showering them with gifts and grand gestures. 3. You're neglecting other aspects of your life. 4. You're overloading them with compliments and declarations of love. 5. You're trying to save or fix them. 6. You're disregarding their boundaries. 7. You're reacting disproportionately to normal relationship fluctuations. Now, if you've recognized some of these behaviors in yourself, don't panic. The fact that you're here, learning about this, shows that you want to build healthy, loving relationships. That's a great first step. Remember, love bombing often comes from a place of good intentions. You might be doing these things because you're excited about the relationship, because you want to show your partner how much you care, or because you're trying to secure the connection. But as we've discussed, these behaviors can actually harm the relationship in the long run. So, what can you do if you've realized you're engaging in love bombing behaviors? Here are a few steps you can take. 1. Slow down, take a step back and allow the relationship to develop at a more natural pace. Enjoy getting to know your partner gradually. 2. Practice self-awareness, pay attention to your behaviors and emotions. Are you acting out of genuine care, or out of insecurity or a need for control? 3. Respect boundaries, have open conversations about boundaries with your partner and make a conscious effort to respect them. 4. Maintain balance, keep investing in other areas of your life, your friendships, hobbies, and personal growth. 5. Work on self-esteem, often, love bombing stems from insecurity. Focus on building your self-esteem independent of the relationship. 6. Communicate openly, instead of grand gestures, focus on honest, open communication with your partner. 7. Seek professional help. If you're finding it difficult to change these patterns on your own, don't hesitate to reach out to a therapist or counselor. Remember, true love is not about intensity or grand gestures. It's about mutual respect, understanding, and genuine connection. It's about two whole individuals choosing to share their lives, not about two people becoming completely enmeshed. Building a healthy relationship takes time, patience, and a lot of self-awareness. But it's absolutely worth it. A relationship built on a solid foundation of trust, respect, and genuine understanding is far more fulfilling and lasting than one built on the shaky ground of love bombing. I hope this video has been helpful in understanding love bombing and recognizing these behaviors in yourself. Remember, awareness is the first step towards change. You've already taken that step by watching this video and reflecting on your own behaviors. If you found this information valuable, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content on relationships and personal growth. And hey, why not share this video with someone who might benefit from it? You never know, it could be the start of a really important conversation. Thank you for watching, and remember, love should lift you up, not overwhelm you. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.